How do you handle the emotions of the players? This is a big stage for a lot of guys. And,
Yep.
Obviously you're going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to make some changes. How do you do that in a game in which, hey, if we don't play well, we're out? There is no game after that. How do you make those changes, throughout a basketball game?
Well, it's a great question, Kirk. I think, first of all, you got to stay positive, and you got to be upbeat, and you got to celebrate your season. I actually lost a tournament game in 1998 when St. John's lost to Detroit because I had my team too much on edge. I didn't want us to lose the edge we had. With playing in the Big East the whole season, and that was the wrong approach. Now I've had other teams like Manhattan upset in Oklahoma a 4-13 game. So here's my answer. Number one, celebrate the success. Selection Sunday and the 12 hours after that, enjoy the accolades, the press conferences, the media spotlight that you're under, and then you get back to business, and you have to prepare the NCAA tournament. You're only going to play 2 games in one weekend, and you don't know who you're playing in the second game.
Right.
So you treat it like you were playing in an in-season 14 tournament, and you have to keep everything as routine as possible. The kids know it's a big deal, but you have to be relaxed, and that's really important. They have to see you're relaxed, that you're prepared, and that we're treating this next game like any other game that we prepare for on the schedule. And, keep them as normal as possible.
Fran Fraschilla, ESPN and Westwood One college basketball analyst, joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show. Kirk Morrison filling in for Rich. Just a couple more minutes with you, Fran. You first went to the tournament in 1993, and now in 2019. What do you think has been the biggest difference when you look at the tournament from when you first appeared as a coach to where the tournament is now?
Well, it's amazing. Well, I can even remember my first, years as a young coach. I can remember 1982, 83 as an assistant at Ohio U going to the tournament, 48 teams. You played in, 33 through 48 played into the tournament. I'm not sure how they did it, but I know there weren't 64. It's just so much bigger. It really is. I mean, it's obvious to see that whether it's CBS and Turner, and the way the tournament is now televised and the exposure, and throw social media into that, throw the hype that we create throughout the season. Zion playing in his first and only NCAA tournament. It's just, it's all encompassing. They call it March Madness for a reason. It used to be just simply the NCAA basketball championship.
Right.
But I think I'd have to take you back to what I said earlier in the conversation. We have created must-watch reality TV in March and early April because none of us knows what's going to happen. You expect the unexpected. Team finally beat one. Somebody hits a 50-footer at the buzzer to, knock somebody else out. Celebrations, running around the court, buzzer beaters, heartbreak, kids crying. It's what I love about the tournament, and it's become so big, and that's why it's become such a part of American sports.
Hey, Fran, I know I got to let you go, but I got 30 seconds real quick. I know you got Florida State coming out of the West, but when you look at the South and the Midwest, I personally got Tennessee out of the South, North Carolina out of the Midwest. How do you see the South and the Midwest kind of shaking up?
Well, I love Tennessee, and I work for Rick Barnes and at Providence, and I've got enormous respect for Tennessee. I got a sneaky suspicion that Virginia is the best team in the tournament. They lost to Duke twice. I get it, and I wouldn't shock me if Tennessee gets to the Final Four. But I really like Virginia, and on the other side, Kentucky beat North Carolina by 10 on a neutral court in December. I think this is a better North Carolina team. I like North Carolina coming out of that region as well. I'm excited to watch Houston play. Obviously, I got a little investment in Villanova. I think they've had a great year. They can get to the Sweet 16. But for me, on that side of the bracket, I see Virginia, North Carolina. And you know what, Kurt? I think there's only been one time in NCAA history, if I'm not mistaken, that 3 teams from the same conference got to a Final Four, and that would have been 85. So it's possible, the way this is set up, that we could see at least 2 ACC teams, maybe 3. And how crazy would it be if we saw 4?
Yeah, so I guess you're saying Duke out of the East then. I got it, Fran. Appreciate it.
Yep.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.